Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, November 23rd, and I'm here for my weekly stitching update. I'm hoping to make this quick, but we'll see. I have amazingly, I completed all my goals again this week. I was almost 100% sure that wasn't going to happen. I had a lot of days that were really busy. There was one day that I only got 42 stitches on iris and nothing on my main piece, and I don't even think I got anything on my Etsy stitching. I'm not sure. It was really, I think that was Thursday. I was like, well, I am definitely not going to get my goal done on my main piece, which was the Young Gardener, because I needed 600 stitches. So if I don't put in a single stitch on one of the 3 days, I'm like, there's no way. But last night I managed to have a wonderful, relaxing day. I got some travel stitching in the car and while we were watching the football game, and then in the evening I had a nice long chunk of stitching. I got my goal done, so I'm very excited. So this week was almost completely full coverage except for my travel stitching, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. First off though, I have some administrative things to talk about. One, I forgot to mention last week, but I am having like a Cyber Week, Black Friday sort of sale in my Etsy shop right now. It started yesterday and it goes through December 3rd, possibly the 2nd. I was looking at the thing that says December 3rd at 12 a.m. So I don't know. I think that means like through the night of the 2nd. So anyways, if you go on the 3rd, you may or may not see the sale. But it's just a general sale, no coupon code needed. It's 20% off all instant download PDF patterns. So only the instant downloads, nothing personalized, nothing physical. They're still available, but they're not on sale. So that's happening right now, 20% off all PDF instant downloads in my Etsy shop. And so you can head over there. I don't know if I'll have anything written. I'm going to try to limit my editing. But in my Etsy shop, you can find a variety of temperature patterns. You can find, including mine that I'm working on now, the temperature tree, which was last year's release. This year, the one that I released in the fall for 2021, which I'll be stitching next year, is the typography pattern. And that is words. And maybe I'll put a picture of that one up here since that's the most recent temperature release. But all of my temperature patterns are still up. You could do them any year you want. They're not year specific. I also have things like the quilt samplers that look like different states or countries. And I have some full coverage photo patterns that are from pictures that I've taken. I also have like poems and verses and things that are mostly words. And I have my two new patterns that I collaborated with my niece, the bird and the ladybug, Herschel and Lucy design, the first one of that series, and the first coffee collection series. Those are both in there too. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in a specific genre. I think that's pretty much it. So those are all there. So enjoy. While we're talking about that, let's show this while I have it out. This is my temperature tree, getting closer, almost done. As compared to last week, this is 28 count, light blue even weave from Hobby Lobby. The Artiste brand, it's 1/1, full crosses. I did these around here on the bottom of this, rounded the corner on the November branch. So 7 leaves, pretty mild, and it's feeling great. Nice fall weather for our location. Those light green leaves there on the tip of the branch were 81, which is pretty warm, relatively speaking. But around here, that's pretty typical. It kind of fluctuates between 80s and 70s, with the occasional pop down to the 50s and occasional pop up to the 90s, because, you know, fall doesn't make sense sometimes. While I have my bucket out here, I'll do my Prim Stitch series. This is my travel piece right now, and travel these days Doesn't necessarily mean travel. I do work on my temperature piece in the car sometimes, but this one is usually like occasionally in front of the TV piece, because I don't usually stitch in front of the TV, but there's occasional things like football game. My husband is introducing my oldest son to The Simpsons, so whenever we watch that, I can work on this because I don't need to see everything. I've seen them before. I'm not, like, they're not my favorite show, but it's still fun to be part of the experience. And so I got a good amount of stitching done on this week for various reasons like that. So here is where it is now. Quite a bit done. And this is, I didn't say, this is Beauty and Simplicity, the 5th in the Prim Stitch series. And I am adding specialty stitches. It's supposed to be all cross stitch, but you know, I can't leave it at that. So last time all I had was a tiny bit of this center star done. And I do work on it a little bit if I have like a grocery pickup in the car, you know, things like that. I added an arrow because it is mandala style. I didn't want to have it rotated and have my stitches the wrong direction on accident. I've done all the green, did the center there, and I did one of the yellow flowers. I decided to do what I had originally thought and just kind of angle my stitches into the center of the leaves and just fan it out however it needed to work on the ends to fit the space. So I think it worked pretty well. And the caps of these stems are like fanned out to go with those flowers. So I think that'll work. So going forward, this is again Prim Stitch series, Beauty and Simplicity number 5 by Lori Holt. You can find these at the Fat Quarter Shop. And I will finish the yellow flowers and then move on to these pink, dark pink reddish flowers. The centers, I'll do a specialty stitch in there. I was thinking of doing, I think, a Jessica stitch, and I had some people suggest queen stitches, and I don't actually know what that looks like, so I'll have to Google it and see if I like the look of that. They're kind of ovals. They're not really perfectly round. So if I can figure out a way to do a fun round stitch for those, that's my goal. And I received in the mail an extra copy of that one. So this is for you guys. So I'll go ahead and do the giveaway for that now. You can maybe talk about let's do simplicity. Because right now, life is kind of boiled down to its most basic elements. We're all stuck at home with family, and life is fairly simple for a lot of us. So yeah, if you want to be entered into the drawing, use the word simplicity. That's it there. SIMPLICITY, and I will draw the winner next week. And you can stitch this one also. It's a nice, simple pattern. It's got 8 colors. DMC equivalents are available, or the RE Floss colors. And yeah, so that'll be the giveaway for today. And I also received in the mail some project tracker cards, which I thought I would share a little bit, not a detailed amount right now, because I need to kind of look through them myself, and I won't have time to do that until after Thanksgiving sometime, but I wanted to share them briefly. Sylvia is the mastermind behind these, and she has an Etsy shop called S Ward Designs, and I believe it's all one word, and I'll put that here for you if you want to go check her out on Etsy. She has a variety of listings of these tracker cards, and she gave me 5 different kinds to try out, and I'm very excited to try these out because there's all different kinds of. She said this one was her most popular card. It's a 3-year tracker, so it has 3 calendar years, and I asked for the ones that started next year because this year I don't have accurate records to compare things to, so I'd rather just start fresh with the current year. This one is to track days, which I will actually be doing on all of my non-full coverage pieces or non-pattern keeper pieces. The pattern keeper pieces going forward into starting next year, I want to track number of stitches and have at least 1,000 stitches on each of my pattern keeper compatible patterns. And anything that's not in pattern keeper, I want to spend at least I'm gonna say 2 days. Ideally more than that, but you know, I'd rather have a base and at least touch everything through at some point in the year, or rather than not at all. And I know a lot of things will get more time than that, but I want to make sure everything gets some attention because I have so many projects. It's easy for some to just not get pulled out at all throughout the year. I have over 60 projects now, I think. Anyways, so this one is cool. I'm looking forward to using these for non-full coverage or non-pattern keeper projects. And then she also has a similar one that's for 2 years, which is maybe for a smaller pattern that you know you'll probably finish in less time. Here's one that's days, but it's a 5-year one, so it's perfect for really big patterns, which I've got some. That's also number of days, and I liked how this one is months, and you just like check off the days. This one has the months down here and the days across, and you check them off that way. So that's how you can fit more on the same card. These are like half sheets, so that's nice too. They're nice and small. You can, if you do project bags, you can put them in your project bag, or you can find like a half-size binder and put them in there if you want them all in the same spot. And these are, she has some that are works in progress. So she's kind of developing an hour tracker and a number of stitches tracker. She's not in love with the format yet, but she does have these in progress, and I'm hoping once I play around with them a little bit, I can give her some feedback, which will help her finalize those. I'm not sure if they're in her shop already, but you can always take a look. If you track hours or stitches instead of days, because I know some people don't track anything. Some people track days, hours, stitches, a variety of things. And for me, it's, I didn't used to track anything. So since I'm part of this community, it's kind of fun to see progress and have these goals, accountability, and progress tracking. It is kind of fun. So I'm looking forward to being a little bit more purposeful this coming year at having goals and seeing if I can meet them, because in the past I've kind of set vague goals and haven't even looked at my goal sheet for 9 months. That's not really the way to practice accomplishing goals. So we'll see if I can get it a little bit better this coming year by having those sweeping, broader, more generic goals, but they're specific at the same time. So 1,000 stitches on each project, and if I keep track of it, then I know which ones still need attention, and if I have a challenge come up, I'll look at the ones that I haven't met my goal on first, you know, to try to get progress on all my things, because that's kind of what I want to do. Like, I do have certain ones that I'll probably want to focus more attention on to actually finish, but then there's other things that I just want to kind of keep them going, keep playing with them throughout the year. All right, so let's get on with progress. So this week I worked on 3 full coverage projects, or four full coverage projects. So there was I guess 3 of these. They were for the Wheel of Fortune challenge. That's the word. The Wheel of Fortune challenge in Full Coverage Fanatics, and I am technically finished with that goal. I had my goal for my quick stitch iris be 400 stitches, and I have passed it, so I could put the picture up for that, but since it's a month-long event, I was thinking of just waiting to get the end of the month picture, because I'm going to use an end of the month picture before and afters for the November challenge in Cross Stitch Township, which is another full coverage, or another cross stitch challenge group on Facebook. I was gonna wait and do my end of the month tally and picture in that group. So I thought, well, I'll use my end of the month picture in Full Coverage Fanatics also. And I could probably have done more Wheel of Fortune words with iris, but I don't know that I would be able to get a whole nother chunk of words. So I figured I'll just not worry about that. And I don't want to have too much pressure to finish, you know, extra things now that it's like Thanksgiving and the month's almost over. So this is Quick Stitch Iris, and I'm really happy I got to it every day this week, except for that one day that I got only 42 stitches. I did meet my goal of at least 60, and there were a few days that I got more. One day was 79 and one day was 86, just because of finishing the section I was on. And so because of that, even though I got less on that one day, it all evens out, and I probably have an average of over 60 stitches a day. So that's pretty cool. So here is where it's at now. And this is 25 count, 1/1 full crosses. And this is my first Heaven and Earth design, but then I restarted it several years later because I wasn't happy with 2/1 on 25 count. That's way too thick for my taste. And I'm loving this. It's perfect. So I think I finished up the bottom of this iris. I think there's a few holes right here, but other than that, I think this iris is 100% complete. I did a little bit more down here in the background. I did a good amount of this iris now too, which is fun. Possibly some of this was filled in too. So definitely focusing it on this every day has been really fun to see it come together and progress, and it's not boring. There's always a different color to use, and they're pretty colors no matter what. Even the grays are pretty. So I'm really happy with that one, and I'm loving making progress on it. So I definitely think this is a good idea to do, to keep a piece going a few stitches a day is if I can swing it, because it's really cool to see the progress. So I love that. So yeah, the first piece then that was a more focused piece was my grapes piece. This is a golden kite. And I tried a variety of parking methods on this, and I liked them for a while, but once I got bogged down in the confetti, and I had two different methods of parking going, and I had multiple strings of the same color in the, you know, parked, it was getting to be too much, and I decided, no, I don't want to do that anymore. So now I'm working on just stitching in my parked threads, and then I can move forward with my more cross-country stitching style that I'm liking better now. So I got some threads put in. Not a ton, but I did get some. So here is grapes compared to last time. This is on 18 count Fiddler's Ada, so it's the oatmeal-y color, which I thought was perfect for this design. Even though you won't see it, it's nice to work on something that's complementary to the design. And I decided to, there was a few right here in this column still. I got those stitched, and then I started working left to right to kind of peel away the parked threads in this direction rather than top to bottom. And I'm really happy with that. So I got, some of them are stitched in here. A lot of it's down here as well. So that's where you'll see most of the additional stitches. And I got like 240, something like that. My goal was 200, so I'm happy that I did it. I think in 2 days, so that's pretty good. I do want to get this out more often and get those rest of those park threads finished. So getting 1,000 stitches on it in 2021 will definitely help get that goal finished. I don't know that I'll pull it out anymore this year, just because I have other things that I want to get to. I want to get to like more Christmassy projects and winter I wanted to work on my Winter Wonderland band sampler and my Nativity band sampler. Maybe my Nativity full coverage if I need some full coverage stitching and things like that. Possibly some projects that have not been worked on at all this year. I'll try to maybe pull those in December. But the time in 2020 is quickly running out. So I don't know that I'll get everything done that I don't know that I'll get to all my projects this year, and that's a little sad to think about. And I realized this week too, I have not been putting time into my Mirabilias as much as I used to because full coverage has kind of taken over now that Pattern Keeper is here. It's so much easier to stitch those kinds. So anyways, I need to focus more. I was thinking at the very least I might have Mirabilia Mania next year where I work on all of my Mirabilia projects in the month of May, and possibly only Mirabilias, but maybe I'll do like my pick one full coverage piece to do a few stitches on every day, you know, and it may still be my iris, but I would like, or maybe have Mirabilias during the week and full coverage on the weekends or something. I don't know, but I do want to get to all my Mirabilias during May at least. But I do want to maybe sprinkle those out and work on maybe one a month at the very least, because they're just so pretty. I shouldn't have them sitting around doing nothing, right? So the next thing I worked on it Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, was my Young Gardener. This is the one I was not sure how much I'd be able to get done because it was going slow, and I knew it would because I'm up here in this top area where it's very confetti. I was just starting along the top picking colors, and I'd pick one and it was like here, 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 here. I'm like, really? Can't you have more than one stitch in the same area? Like, I don't know. It was slow going, but eventually I got my goal done thanks to some extra stitchy time last night. So I'm happy with that. This is on 40 count Verdal even weave, 1/1 half stitches. It's very small. This is the full width of the pattern, and I'm happy with that. That's a lot more than I kind of expected. I mean, I was hoping to get that much, but I knew it would take a while, and I'm glad I got it done this week and don't have to bring it out again another week to finish the Wheel of Fortune challenge. So definitely having that challenge motivated me to keep going on this. I was kind of over it with all the confetti, so I wanted to just play games on my phone or something, but I noticed I was just, at some point I calculated and I realized I had 100 stitches left. So I'm like, oh, I can do that. Let's get this done. So I did. So that's fun. I like the autumn colors. The leaves here are starting to turn color. We do have some measure of fall colors in Southern California. It's not to the large extent that the East Coast states have, but we do have fall colors. In our backyard alone, we have a red tree and a yellow tree, which are really fun. And then a bunch of oak trees that don't change color. They stay green. So it gets really colorful back there. And then if you go down streets in town, you get a variety of colors too. I miss the neighborhood where my kids go to school because they usually have a lot of pretty trees in the fall, and I'm not taking my kids to school this year. So let's see. And my last one, which was my Saturday piece, which you guys helped me work on, is Norwegian Ship Under Sail. And this was a Saturday, one-day pop-up event for a birthday. I believe Pamela. Happy birthday. And she wanted us to work on something related to a pilgrim or a turkey. So I thought this was close to a Mayflower pilgrim type ship. And one of the comments I got on my last video was great. She's like, I think I see a turkey on the deck there. You look really closely. There's a turkey. I love that. So, don't think I need that anymore. I had asked you guys to give me your opinion on if I should continue to work in the sky along the top of the pattern or try to get to the ship. And I was actually kind of surprised. The first large majority of the responders said work along the top, and that was winning for a while. But then eventually the flood of enablers said, start the ship, start the ship. So I was actually kind of torn. I wanted to do both. So it's total 15 of you voted to stitch along the top, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 voted to start the ship. So I did both, but I did start the ship. So I had some sky on my needle, so I worked on that, and then I did another, at least one color in the sky just to kind of get down to the ship area to have more context, and then I did several colors in the ship. Still, you can't see a whole lot because of the nature of full coverage, but I didn't want to stitch white because I figured that'd be too boring. That was the biggest chunk of color in the sail that would have been like an obvious ship color, but I figured this is white fabric. I want to show you guys something that's like more interesting than that. So I did some of the other shady bits. So here it is, and I'll put the other one on the top, I think. Hopefully I can get that to work. So this is 25 count, 2/1/2 stitches. This is actually the same fabric I'm doing my iris on, only that's full crosses with 1 strand. This is 2 strands of a 1/2 stitch. Because it's a golden kite, it has blends. So I did this color first because that was on my needle in the sky. And then I came over here and I did this color to come down to be closer to the ship. And then I did, this is like the top of the mast, and this is some shading in over here is one of the crossbars of the other mast. And I think there's even another shorter mast over here. So you can kind of see some of the outlines of the shady parts in the ship along here. Not super exciting yet, but it is fun to kind of see where it's going to be as I stitch the sky. And I had a couple of you compare this to a Mirabilia, how I like to do their faces towards the beginning of the project, so I have something pretty to look at while I stitch the rest of it. And I think that's an apt comparison to something like this, where I start, and even my my young gardener, where I'm working on the background, but I have part of the lady's hat and head started, gives me some context, gives me something fun to look at while I'm working on the background. And I do want to focus more on the background the next time I pull this out, but it is fun to see where the boat will be exactly and how that fits into the rest of it. So very fun. I like this a lot, even though it's kind of boring colors in one sense because they're all grays and browns and dusty blues and all of that, but it's cool. So I am looking forward to working on that more next year. And I will do more on the sky and probably also in the boat. I'll probably focus more on the sky, but then occasionally I'll probably pop in a color or two down in the boat to make it look a little bit more like something. But that was fun. So thanks for helping with that and giving me your 2 cents. And I made tally marks as the week went on. And I think that's all I worked on this week. So going forward, I have 2 family pieces that I need to work on still this month. Actually 3, because I never got to my husband's piece. But I have probably next week. I don't know about Sunday, but at least Monday. Like these days, I might work on my husband's piece just because I didn't bring it up here because I wasn't sure what I would do, because I want to make sure I get a good chunk of work done on my niece's piece because I want to try to finish that this year. So if I need to, I might work on that on Sunday, but if I feel like I've gotten to a good stopping point, I might pull my husband's piece out on Sunday. So we'll wait and see on that one. But I have 2 family pieces, and then, oh, I didn't bring my stitching sampler. Maybe I'll just put a picture in of it. But there's a birthday, another Cross Stitch Township birthday this week on Wednesday. So that day, she wants us to work on a sampler or a house. And so I thought, well, there's a lot of things I could work on. I thought about bringing out Winter Wonderland Band Sampler because there are houses in there. And I do want to work on that before the end of the year, but I'm not quite in the mood for winter, and I'm not quite in the mood for the slightly complicated nature of a chatelaine. And then I remembered I have my heirloom stitching sampler that I started on the National Cross Stitch Day in August, and I only got the top little motif and the first band of letters. I'll put a picture in of how far I got on that. And it's on purple fabric, so I think I'll work on that on Wednesday and get maybe the rest of the alphabet finished. I don't remember what's below that, but we'll put in some work on that for her birthday. And then family pieces that I need to get to this week are Dragon Ride, which I know is a lot of you have this as one of your favorites. So I'll be working on this. This is a Teresa Wensler pattern, and I'm stitching mine on 28 count light blue even weave MCG textiles. And here is where I'm at now. So I guess that'll be a good before picture, but I'm not sure. I might work more on the man because when I pulled it out last month, I didn't get as much done on it as I wanted to try to finish up the 1/1 man. But if I'm not in the mood for 1/1, I might just keep working on the wings, because I know my son wants me to work on wings. So we shall see what I do. He's home. Well, they've been home, but they're off school this week. So because he's not schooling and he might see me working on this more often, like maybe I'll work on wings this time. I don't know, we'll see. But I'll give that at least 2 days. No particular goals on it. Cross Stitch Township is taking a week off of weekly challenges, so I won't have any specific goals in there that I need to meet, which is nice actually this week to just kind of have a free week to do what I need to do. My other one is Letter E Fairy by Nora Corbett. This is for my niece, and I have done a color conversion with reds and a variety of fancy flosses for my stash. And let's put it back for this. I think my kids are ready for lunch, so I gotta go. But this is on 32 count water lily linen. You can kind of see there compared to white. It's a nice green color. And this is the called for fabric. And this is how far I've gotten. I believe there's probably still some back stitching in this part, but other than that, like, it's done, really. The top half is done. So I need to do more on the E and probably backstitch a little bit here. And there's some more scrolly work around the outside on the bottom too. So I'm gonna give this at least 3 days this week, maybe 4 if I feel like I need to get a little bit more work on it to be able to get it to finish in December. It's not 100% necessary that I finish it this year, but I would like to kind of keep on track with finishing all of these when I need to. My goal is to finish them by, to gift them at my niece's high school graduations. And some of them graduate the same year as each other, so I don't want to push them off and then be scrambling. So I'm trying to do them, like, pace myself so that they're done when they need to be done. So I think that's everything that I have to show you. And I may work on, yeah, the 30th of November, I might just work on my husband's piece, but I'll just wait until show that next week. So I do have a lot of things going on at home right now, so we'll see how much stitching time I get. So I will do what I can, and I'll show you whatever I get to. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful week. If you're in the States, have a nice Thanksgiving, however that looks for you. We'll be getting together with the local smaller family group that we see regularly anyways, so no extra family this year. It's kind of sad, but it's the way it has to be, I guess. We'll still have a nice time, we'll still be thankful, we'll still enjoy each other's company, so, and probably bring along some travel stitching. So with that, I will Wish you a wonderful week and happy stitching. Bye.